So, foldable phones are no longer surprising. But foldable laptops? That still feels like the future. And Huawei just pushed that future a little closer with the new Huawei MateBook Fold. This is an ultra-premium foldable PC with a massive 18-inch flexible OLED display, a leather-backed design, and a form factor that looks more like sci-fi than something you'd casually carry in a backpack. But here's the real question. Is this actually the future of laptops? Or just an expensive tech experiment? Because at around $3,300, this thing enters serious territory. So in this video, we're breaking down the design, display, performance, portability, keyboard experience, software situation, and whether the Huawei MateBook Fold is truly worth the hype. And honestly, there's a lot to talk about. First, the design. The MateBook Fold immediately feels different from anything else on the market. When closed, it looks almost like a luxury notebook instead of a laptop. Huawei went with a leather-style finish on the back, and it gives the device a very premium appearance. Not flashy, not gamer-like, just clean and futuristic. And then there's the thickness. When unfolded, the MateBook Fold is only around 7.3 millimeters thick. Folded, it's roughly 14.9 millimeters. That's incredibly thin for a foldable computer with an 18-inch display. Even more impressive is the weight. The laptop itself weighs around 1.16 kilograms, which is surprisingly light considering the screen size. For comparison, many traditional 16-inch laptops weigh more than this. Now, the hinge deserves special attention. Huawei designed a custom water drop style hinge system that allows the laptop to stay open at different angles between 30 and 150 degrees. And according to early hands-on reviews, the hinge feels extremely refined. Opening it with one hand looks smooth. Closing it feels controlled. And surprisingly, the crease is less noticeable than many people expected. That's important because foldable displays can sometimes feel fragile or unfinished. But Huawei clearly wanted this device to feel premium first and experimental second. Now let's talk about the main attraction here. The display. And honestly, this screen is the entire reason this product exists. The MateBook Fold unfolds into a huge 18-inch flexible OLED display with a 3.3K resolution, 3296 by 2472. The panel uses dual-layer tandem OLED technology, which helps improve brightness, efficiency, and durability. And visually, this thing looks stunning. Huawei claims up to 1600 nits peak brightness, a 2:1 contrast ratio, LTPO adaptive refresh technology, and 1440 Hz PWM dimming. So yes, on paper, this is flagship-level display technology. Movies look immersive, colors appear rich and vibrant. And because the bezels are extremely thin, the screen feels massive when fully opened. The screen-to-body ratio is around 92%, which makes the display feel almost edge-to-edge. And this is where the MateBook Fold starts becoming genuinely interesting, because it can transform into multiple devices. Fully unfolded, it works like a giant tablet or portable desktop display. Folded halfway, and it becomes a more traditional laptop setup with a virtual keyboard on the bottom half. Or users can connect the included magnetic physical keyboard and use the entire display as one large workspace. That flexibility is the entire selling point. And for multitasking, it actually makes a lot of sense. Two large windows side by side feel natural here. Watching content feels immersive. Reading documents feels almost book-like. For travelers or creative professionals, this form factor could genuinely be useful. But of course, hardware alone doesn't make a laptop great. The software matters too. And this is where things become complicated. Unlike most premium laptops, the MateBook Fold does not run Windows out of the box. Instead, it runs Huawei's HarmonyOS 5. Now to be fair, HarmonyOS actually looks surprisingly optimized for touch controls. Some reviewers even said the gesture system feels smoother and more responsive than Windows on touch devices. Things like multitasking gestures, split-screen controls, and virtual keyboard interactions appear very polished. Huawei clearly designed the operating system around foldable hardware. And that matters, because foldable devices only work well when the software understands the form factor. However, there's a major downside: app compatibility. For users outside China especially, HarmonyOS creates limitations. Traditional Windows software support is not the same. Google services are missing. And many users may eventually try installing Windows manually just to regain familiar functionality. That immediately creates friction for mainstream buyers. Because at this price, most people expect convenience, not workarounds. And honestly, this might become the biggest reason many people skip the MateBook Fold entirely. Not because the hardware is bad, but because the ecosystem feels restrictive outside Huawei's own environment. Now performance is still somewhat mysterious because Huawei hasn't fully detailed the chipset powering this laptop. However, reports point toward Huawei's Kirin platform paired with 32GB of RAM and either 1TB or 2TB of storage. That's flagship-level memory and storage. And for productivity tasks, media consumption, multitasking, and office work, the MateBook Fold should feel fast enough for most users. Huawei also included a vapor chamber cooling system and dual fans to help manage temperatures. Battery-wise, there's a 74.69 Wh battery inside along with 140W fast charging support. And considering how massive this display is, battery performance will be something people watch closely, because powering an 18-inch OLED panel is not easy. Now another interesting detail is the keyboard. Unlike some foldable laptops that integrate the keyboard into the body, Huawei went with a completely detached magnetic keyboard. And surprisingly, early impressions are actually positive. The keyboard itself is very thin at around 5mm, weighs about 290 grams, and offers 1.5mm of key travel, so typing apparently feels better than expected. Still, there's a trade-off. Because the keyboard is separate, users now have one more thing to carry around, and one more thing to forget. That sounds minor until you're traveling. Then suddenly the convenience of an integrated keyboard starts making a lot more sense. Connectivity here is decent too. The MateBook Fold includes USB-C ports, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, an 8-megapixel front camera, 6 speakers, and 4 microphones. And honestly, 6 speakers inside a foldable laptop sounds pretty wild. But this device was clearly designed to feel immersive. Big screen, big sound, minimal footprint, that's the idea. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the price. The Huawei MateBook Fold starts at around $3,300 and climbs even higher depending on storage configuration. That puts it directly into ultra-luxury territory. And at that price, buyers start comparing it to devices like premium MacBooks, high-end Windows Ultrabooks, and even foldable competitors from Lenovo, which makes the decision harder. Because traditional laptops may not look this futuristic, but they offer mature ecosystems, better compatibility, and fewer compromises. So ultimately, the MateBook Fold feels less like a mainstream laptop and more like a glimpse into what laptops could become over the next few years. And honestly, that's what makes it exciting. This isn't just another spec upgrade. It's a completely different direction for portable computing. The hardware feels ambitious. The display looks incredible. And Huawei deserves credit for pushing laptop design forward instead of playing it safe. But at the same time, the software limitations and ultra-premium pricing make this difficult to recommend to everyone. For most people, a traditional laptop still makes more sense. However, for tech enthusiasts, early adopters, luxury gadget collectors, or users deeply invested in Huawei's ecosystem, the MateBook Fold might be one of the most fascinating laptops released this year, because whether foldable laptops become the future or not, this device proves the category is finally getting serious. And honestly, that alone makes the Huawei MateBook Fold worth paying attention to. So, would you actually buy a foldable laptop like this, or does it still feel too experimental? Let everyone know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more future tech reviews and comparisons.